Steve back here with you, High Noon Leatherworks, for another leather adventure. And today we're going to do a different kind of project, and it's going to be an organizational project for me, but you could use this however you'd like. I've got a bunch of keys here that go to different buildings and almost like a set. I've got a cabin, a playhouse, a barn, a garage. So I've got all these keys that I try to keep organized. And what I've done in the past was I made all these tags. Each key or keys, set of keys, has its own tag. Like this one says wagon on it. And they're just out of some thin leather. But the problem is I find even though they're marked, they're the same color, so I just find myself digging through this constantly when I'm trying to unlock or lock these buildings. So what I want to do is I want to redo this, and I want to color coordinate it so it's easy for me to pick out, easy for me to see. So I'm going to redo that, try to get it a little more organized. All we're using is a little bit of scrap leather, some key rings, and some rivets. So come on in and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and figure out how many pieces I'm going to need. It looks like I'm going to assume these are a 1/2 inch wide, but I'll double check it. And actually they're 5/8 of an inch wide. So we could do that again. I've got a blue, a black, a burgundy, a brown, a hot pink or magenta, a white one, and then a bright yellow one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sets of keys on this carabiner that I carry them on. So this will work out. I'll just go ahead and make all 7 different colors. I'll have them. We'll start with making them. Let's see how long they are. Looks like about 5 inches long. So let me see if I can get 5 inches out of this at 3/4 or 5/8, I guess is what it was actually. So let's go ahead and start at 5/8, and I'll start with this magenta color. So the first thing I'll do is cut them at 5/8 of an inch. The length is not. I'm going to go ahead and move this camera too over to the other side because I'm left-handed, and when I start, well, I use both hands, but mostly cut with my left hand, so sometimes I'll be right in the way if I put that on the right hand side. So let's try that and see what happens. I think that'll be a better angle. So we'll do 5/8 on the blue. There's that strip. We'll do the white. And these all so far seem to have a straight edge on them already, or a straight side, which makes it nice. And these don't have to be perfect, obviously, but I'll get this one, I'll cut it down a little bit. But I've had that one set that I showed earlier that's all the same color. I've used that for several years and it has helped a lot. But what I find is the more keys that I add to that, the harder it is to keep track of them. Like I said, even though I have them marked on there, it's just, with it being all the same color, you could see how hard it would be to find what you were looking for quickly. And that's the key. I want to find that stuff quickly. So let's do a piece of yellow. And again, I'm going to have an extra or two here just in case I have to add something down the road. And this came out of a bag of scraps that I bought at a leather shop. And I got this huge bag of scrap, different colors. It's been really nice to have to do little projects like this, and I think I gave $9 for it, and it came out of a big bin that they kept all their scrap in, and they let me choose what I wanted to put in the bag, so that was nice. I got to pick through it. So those places are around. A lot of leather shops will sell their scrap like that, and it's pretty inexpensive. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors here. So I don't want a square edge on them, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and round the edges and make them, at that point, go ahead and make them 5 inches. And again, I just use this poly cutting board. Pick them up at garage sales or flea markets or whatever whenever I can pick them up cheap. I don't care if they have cut marks on them or whatever. That doesn't affect what I'm using them for. And when they get busted up or whatever, I just throw them away and pull another one out of the stash and move on. Let me see if I can go to the next size up here. And then let's do, and these are approximate. I don't care whether they're all exactly 5 inches or whatever. They're close enough for what I'm doing here. Trim a little bit of fuzz off of that one. I just like a neat rounded edge instead of a square pointed edge. So we can do this pretty quickly. And again, I'm trying to make them as close to 5 inches as I can. But if they're within a 1/4 inch, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And again, these are little projects that I come up with. I'm always thinking, what can I do to make my life easier? Like, alright, in order to do that, can I use leather of some sort to help do that? And that's where I come up with all these little projects that I end up doing. Alright, there's my 7 pieces, and they're all rounded now on each end. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to keep my poly board out here. Let me get rid of this scrap that I just made. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my holes for my rivets in there. So I could go ahead and fold those over, match the rounded ends up, and then put my hole in there for my rivet. Now I am not going to measure that, I'm just eyeballing it. It's not that critical to me anyway, where those rivets land, as long as I make sure I give it enough room so that my rivet doesn't hang off the end. So I'm probably coming up at least a 1/4 inch from the edge. And again, I'm just folding those over to where the rounded ends meet. And then putting in my hole. Some of these, obviously it's out of a scrap bin, so some of these aren't all truly the same thickness, but that's okay, as long as I know my rivet's gonna fit. And all of them should be just fine for that. And this is fairly soft leather, so it's going through 2 thicknesses of it pretty easily. And then my white one's my last one here. And then one thing that I am going to show you that you could add to this, you could do, I'm just going to clean my punch out real quick. You could do marker like I did on the old ones, and all that is just a permanent Sharpie marker, and I just wrote on it what it was. So cabin, garage, barn, so on. So I just wrote on there what that was. You could do that, or you could actually go ahead and do the stamping if you wanted to stamp all those. We'll do one of those and show you how that looks. Let's go ahead and do the burgundy colored one. I will case it just a little bit, because with some water that will make it set in there a lot better. So I'm not putting a lot of water on there, I'm just getting it moist. And then I've got a punch set. You can buy these fairly cheap, and you can get them in different sizes. I'll go ahead and make this one the barn. So B-A-R-N. So I'll go ahead and fold this in half, make my holes match, and that'll tell me where I can start my lettering. So once I get that started, so I know where that goes, I can go ahead and move that back to a single thickness. Go to the R. And then the N be the last one. And then I don't know if you could see it in the light. There we go. So that is actually punched in there now. So that's not going to come out. So we've got the name of it on there, and we've got a color associated with that. So I just wanted to show you what you could do on that, or you could use the marker scenario. Whichever one you'd like to do. If you want to mark them like that, or just leave them color coded. So that's what I would do with that. Then I'd go to my hardware, and I'm going to use a short 3/16 rivet, and also I'm going to go to key rings. I've got some hardware here I've got key rings in, and you could buy these at any hobby store. Walmart has them, but they're real inexpensive, and you can buy them in bulk. You can get them on Amazon too, but there's all kinds of different key rings you can buy. And you just slide one over it, put your rivet on there, cap it. I'll get my setter. Set my rivet on my setter. And there's the first one done. That's the one that I did in burgundy. It says barn. There's the key ring on there. That's not going to come off of there. And then I could do the rest of them like that real quick. And again, you just slide the key ring on. Put your rivet in. Cap it. And there's another one done. So you can quickly do these. Doesn't take very long at all. So you could mass produce these, and yeah, you could use them as little key rings separately, or do it like this where you're going to use them on a carabiner or something to keep keys together, but yet if you need to, you can take it off of there and they'll be separate. That's the nice thing about having them separate like that, is I can, if I want to give a key to my son or my daughter and say, hey, here's the key to the cabin, and they didn't need the keys to the barn and the garage and the storage shed, and so I wouldn't need to give them all. I could just pop that one key off there real quick and hand it to them. It makes it very convenient. So you could see how quickly you could put together several of these. I'm already on the fifth one here. Here's number 6. And these rivets and a setter, you can buy those in a kit, and then you just replace the rivets as you use them. And here's the last one. I can get me a cap. Oh, I better put my key ring in there. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Slide my key ring in there. Put my cap on. And there's the black one. There's the last one. So now I could transfer all those keys over to the new key rings. I'll just put a couple of things up here to get them out of my way. And then I could take that carabiner take all the keys off of it that's on there, and then just slide the new ones on. And you're going to see I tried to get as many contrasting colors as I could, so it'd be easier for me to see the difference. So there's the new key rings individually. I'll just have to throw the keys on there, but if I wanted to take one off and hand it to somebody, it makes it real simple for me to do that. So I just throw that in my carry bag, and then I've got all my keys to everything I need, and I don't have to go digging for them. I just know I can pull out that section or that chunk of keys, and that's going to open everything up that I need to open up when we head to the cabin. So quick, easy, cheap, simple, and that'll keep me organized, make it easier on me to find what I'm looking for compared to that, which is what I had done before. Alright, so I appreciate you coming along, following me on this project. Went from this to this much easier. Again, quick, simple, cheap, easy project to do to keep you organized with your keys or whatever you need to organize like that. So appreciate you coming along and watching. Please come back, check out next week's video, and as I always say, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.